When Antoninus Pius ascended the throne of the Roman Empire in 138 AD, the world did not tremble. There were no roaring legions marching across borders, no cities burning, no dramatic purges in Rome. Instead, there was calm, almost unsettling calm, for an empire that had long been shaped by war. Antoninus was not a conqueror by nature, nor did he crave glory on the battlefield. Yet, under his rule, Rome reached one of the most stable and prosperous periods in its long history. Antoninus was born Titus Aurelius Fulvus Boonius Arius Antoninus into a wealthy and respected senatorial family. He was not raised as a future emperor. His reputation came from something far less dramatic, but far more rare: integrity. He was known as a fair administrator, a patient judge, and a man who placed duty above ambition. Emperor Hadrian, impressed by Antoninus's character, adopted him as his successor, but with a condition. Antoninus, in turn, had to adopt Marcus Aurelius and Lucius Verus, securing Rome's future leadership. From the first day of his reign, Antoninus showed what kind of emperor he would be. He refused to deify Hadrian's enemies and instead honored his adoptive father with such devotion that the Senate gave him the title Pius, meaning dutiful or loyal. This loyalty defined his entire rule. Unlike many emperors, Antoninus never left Italy during his reign. He ruled from Rome, relying on governors, generals, and law rather than personal military campaigns. To some, this seemed like weakness, but history would prove otherwise. His strength lay in prevention, not conquest. Although his reign is often called peaceful, it was not without military activity. Small revolts flared in Britain, Mauritania, and parts of Dacia. Yet these conflicts were contained, precise, and quickly resolved. There were no reckless invasions, no ego-driven wars. Antoninus believed the empire was already large enough and that maintaining stability mattered more than expansion. In Britain, Roman forces advanced slightly north and constructed the Antonine Wall, a symbolic assertion of control rather than a push for conquest. Elsewhere, rebellions were met with discipline, but not cruelty. Antoninus understood that fear could rule an empire, but justice could preserve it. While legions guarded the borders, Antoninus focused on the heart of Rome. He strengthened the economy, repaired roads, ports, and aqueducts, and ensured grain supplies remained steady. Taxes were kept fair. When disasters struck, fires, floods, or earthquakes, the emperor personally funded relief efforts from the imperial treasury. Most importantly, Antoninus ruled through law. He expanded legal protections for slaves, orphans, and the poor. Masters could no longer kill slaves without punishment. Accused citizens were presumed innocent until proven guilty. These were revolutionary ideas for an ancient empire built on power. Antoninus Pius did not seek to be remembered as great. Yet quietly, steadily, he created an age of balance. An empire at peace, not because it feared its ruler, but because it trusted him. The peace of Antoninus Pius was not accidental. It was carefully maintained. While the emperor avoided grand wars, he never neglected Rome's defenses. He understood a crucial truth: peace survives only when borders are secure. Across the vast Roman frontiers, Antoninus kept the legions well-funded, well-fed, and disciplined. Governors were chosen for competence rather than loyalty alone. Corruption was punished swiftly. Soldiers were paid on time, and veterans received proper pensions. This stability reduced unrest long before it could grow into rebellion. The most notable military action of his reign occurred in Roman Britain. There, the northern tribes posed a constant challenge. Rather than launching a massive conquest, Antoninus approved a limited advance beyond Hadrian's Wall. The result was the Antonine Wall, stretching across central Scotland. Built of turf and stone, it was less durable than Hadrian's Wall, but symbolically powerful, a message that Rome still commanded respect. Elsewhere, brief uprisings occurred in Mauritania, North Africa, and Egypt, mostly driven by local unrest rather than foreign invasion. These were resolved with minimal force. Antoninus preferred negotiation when possible, force only when necessary. Remarkably, Rome's great rival in the East, the Parthian Empire, remained quiet throughout Antoninus's reign. This was no coincidence. Diplomatic channels were maintained, trade continued, and neither side sought provocation. Antoninus believed that war between great powers should be a last resort, not a display of pride. Back in Rome, the absence of war allowed prosperity to flourish. Trade routes stretched safely from Britain to Syria. Markets thrived. Art, philosophy, and education blossomed. The empire felt confident, not anxious. Antoninus himself lived modestly. He did not build extravagant monuments to glorify himself. Instead, he restored temples, supported charities, and funded education for poor children through imperial grants. His palace was known for its simplicity, and he listened carefully to advisors, jurists, and philosophers. This was not the rule of a warrior king, but of a guardian. Antoninus Pius believed that an empire could not survive on force alone. Its foundation, he argued, must be justice. Under his reign, Roman law evolved into something more humane than ever before. He strengthened legal protections for those who had none. Slaves, once treated purely as property, gained limited rights. Masters who abused or murdered slaves faced legal consequences. Orphans and widows received state protection. Torture as a method of investigation was restricted. Antoninus also emphasized fairness in taxation. Provinces suffering from disasters received tax relief. When cities burned or earthquakes struck, imperial funds rebuilt them. He understood that loyalty grew from care, not fear. Religious tolerance marked his reign as well. While traditional Roman religion remained dominant, Antoninus did not actively persecute Christians. His approach was pragmatic: maintain order, avoid unnecessary cruelty. The emperor himself worked tirelessly. Ancient sources describe him rising early, reviewing legal petitions, listening patiently to disputes, and making decisions based on principle rather than emotion. He ruled like a judge, not a tyrant. This moral leadership set a powerful example and shaped the future of Roman governance. Despite its peace, Antoninus's reign existed in a fragile balance. Beyond the borders, pressure was building. Germanic tribes stirred in the north. Parthia watched from the east. Plagues silently traveled trade routes. Antoninus sensed this, but refused to rule through fear. Instead, he prepared his successors carefully. Marcus Aurelius, trained in philosophy and discipline, observed governance firsthand. Lucius Verus learned military command. When Antoninus died peacefully in 161 AD, Rome mourned deeply. There was no assassination, no chaos, only quiet loss. He left behind a full treasury, secure borders, and a stable empire. Yet the world was changing. Soon wars would return, plagues would strike, the age of calm would fade. But for 23 years, Antoninus Pius proved something extraordinary: that an empire could be powerful without being violent, and strong without being cruel. History often remembers conquerors. Antoninus Pius was not one, yet his legacy endured longer than many empires built on blood. He showed that leadership could be gentle without being weak, that peace could be intentional, that justice could unite millions across continents. Ancient historians later called his reign the Golden Age of Rome, not because of victories, but because people slept without fear. In the end, Antoninus Pius did not expand Rome's borders, he expanded its soul.
and sometimes that is the greatest victory of all.